Hey Joey, so here's the Battlehawk, and then here's my Warfighter. So I want to say the Battlehawk, pretty sure it's a 3.2-inch blade. The Warfighter is, I want to say it's around 3.5. So it looks bigger, I guess the blade does in pictures. I know Rob did make some adjustments on the blade. I think this one that he made for me was when he started making the adjustments. I think he said he made the blade a little wider than the previous times he's made them before. Uh, I know he's only made a couple, just a handful. I wouldn't say a couple, a handful. Some full dress builds, and a couple of EDC versions. Um, on mine, I did go with the blasted stonewash finish on the titanium. The blade is HXP with the hand rub, and then you'll have the Zircutai clip, pivot collars, pivot inlay, and then the backspacer as well. Um, I've carried this one a couple times, a handful of times, but the way I carry it, I'm usually pretty careful with the way I carry these my knives, especially the ones that have the fancy clips. I know I have some other ones that are like full tie clips and stuff like that. And those I usually just clip into my pants. I don't really care about those, but whenever I do have some with fancy clips like this, I usually have a microfiber cloth inside my pocket, and I usually just keep it in my pocket. I don't clip it onto my pants. Um, the stonewash finish on this one is pretty good. This is how I usually like all my knives, especially if it's like a plain Jane build. I don't like orange peeled frames. It's usually always either blasted or with the blasted and tumble, which is what this one has. I know he usually does a lot of his um, EDC builds, like frame locks and stuff like that. You usually do him seeing. I mean, you usually see him do orange peel or um, sometimes he'll do the ceramic coating, the black ceramic coating. Um, but I've had two or three plain Jane knives from him. Four actually. I had a Talon, a mini Talon that he did the collab with Frank Fisher. Um, this one was the same finish, pretty much same layout. I guess same specs on the knife. I think the only thing that build was actually done by Frank, so his finishes on his Zircutai and stuff like that are different. Of course, I had a different pivot. Um, on that one, like I said, it's pretty much the same configuration as this one, but I know on the Talon that I had, he had the polished flats here on the frames, and then he had the tumbled frame. I carried like that for a while, and then I guess the little micro scratches that were happening on the frames here on the edges, uh, I don't know, they were kind of getting to me. So I sent it to Rob, and then he reblasted the frames, and then he tumbled the frames, and then he also had polished the chamfers here on the speed holes. Um, this one, like I said, it's pretty nice. It hides scratches pretty good. Um, I did carry this, like I said, a couple times, a handful of times in my pocket. But like I said, I usually do carry it with a microfiber towel in my, a little cloth in my pocket. This one you can see like some marks. I want to say it was either a penny or a nickel that was in my pocket, and it kind of rubbed here. There's no markings on the pivot collars. You'll see that same mark here on this side. So blade, super clean, super sharp as well. That's pretty slick, man. I know I recently just got it. I mean, I was planning on keeping it or either just trying to trade it out for a BBM. Um, I've had a couple of BBMs before, um, but I just wanted to try it out. I was kind of bored, so that's why I had put it up for trade. Um, this one's by Warfighter. So I actually had this one done by Rob again, 2 years ago probably. I supplied him with the Westie, and I've had that Westie for, I want to say, a good 6 years. I had it with me and I never used it. I sent it off to him. And we went with this finish on the Zirkutai, which I think he calls it his 3D finish. It's kind of different than the actual polished Zirkutai, like on the clip. I think you can tell this clip, you'll see it's a little more polished, I guess. Like you'll see it's a little, this one on this 3D finish, it looks a little more like matte. It's a little more subdued. So my personal preference with Zirkutai, I usually like getting the blue colors. Since I went with the Westie, I had Rob shoot for some little yellow. I know with Zirkutai and Mokutai you can get a little bit of yellow colors in there. So I figured the yellow would go nicely with the yellow on the Westie nose. And you can see the yellow colors there. This one is, I think the blade is a Armor Core, low layer, Sanmai, a Zerk pivot, colors, Zerk pivot inlay, and then the backspacer, which again, he went with the blue and yellows with the blasted liners. I feel like the blasted liners would look good with the Zerk since it's a little gray. Hidden hardware besides the pivot, and then also hard to notice. I guess people won't notice until you actually point it out to them, but the lock bar on this one, it's a hidden relief, so he does a relief on the inside of the, like, I guess on the other side, so you won't see the relief cuts here. This one's pretty much a keeper. I actually had this one ordered. Like I said, I ordered it with Rob, and I think I had it for about 6-7 months, and I don't know, I guess I kind of get bored with my collection, and I sold it. And I was able to get it back from the guy that I sold it to. So luckily, this one's back in the collection. Now this one, like I said, super slick build, man. Like I said, the size, it's a really nice size. Like I said, it looks bigger in pictures and probably in video, but it's super slick, man. But yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know, man. Hit me up. If you couldn't hear me on this video, I guess just fast forward and see what you want to see in the video. I'm shooting outside so you can get a better, view of the colors and the finish on the frames and all that. So I don't like really taking videos inside. The artificial lighting kind of doesn't do the knives justice, in my opinion. So like I said, if you have any questions, hit me up. I know you said you don't have the money right now. I mean, I'm not in a rush to sell it anyways, man, but if you're really interested, just hit me up and just let me know. Can give you a pretty good deal on this one. I know the market kind of sucks right now, and I usually try and price my knives that I'm selling accordingly. So yeah, just let me know. Thank you.